Vernisa, and I'm here to speak up. It's time to speak up. Hello everyone, my name is Vernisa and this is my podcast, Speak Up. Hope you guys are all having a great week so far. For my new listeners out there, for those of you that don't know, the mission statement for this podcast is we use our voices to motivate people to overcome life's challenges through self-love and respect. So yes, this is a place for self-love and respect. Before I get started, quick shout out to my amazing sponsors. Shout out to My Bar, located at 720 East Manchester in Inglewood, California. Get your nails, your lashes, your hair done. Ask for mine. Tell me that SpeakUpJV sent you. The Instagram is at myy.bar. And also shout out to the Event Wellness LLC. Book now with the Event Wellness LLC. For massage therapy, non-invasive body contouring, health and wellness events, ask for Michelle. Book now at the Event Wellness. So yeah, support a Black business today. Shout out. Thank you guys for sponsoring. So feels good to be back. Y'all know I took a little break. I've been like traveling all over the place. So I was like, let me get back in my zone. It's the last month of the year. I can't believe 2023 is about to be over. 2024 is really knocking on our door. So I hope you guys are all self-reflecting, writing your goals out, getting pumped up, or even just being gentle with yourself. We're going to take it easy on tonight's episode. Tonight's episode is titled All I Can Give. So I'm going to be talking about doing your best and like really debunking what that means. I think, we have this notion that doing your best means like you're always hardcore, nonstop grind, tiring yourself out. And no, it actually doesn't mean that. Your best is literally all you can give, in that time. So let's get into the episode. And if you're listening out there, please feel free to comment. I always go back and read the comments and, answer the questions, engage in this conversation. So here we go. Time for the accent. So the actual question of the day is, what does doing your best mean to you? So I kind of already touched up on it, but yeah, I really believe like doing your best means giving your all, whether it is whether it is like a full grind or a low grind. Because I feel like your best could be you just resting, like whatever 100% means to you. Actually, it doesn't have to be 100%. Whatever you can give, whatever you could afford in that moment. I think it's subjective. It changes based on the scenario, based on what chapter of your life you're in, what you're going through. I don't think your best is just this thing that's always there and it looks the same. So basically, for today's episode, I'm really debunking that your best always looks different. Like it's going to be something else every time. So if you feel free to answer out there, I know we all have different definitions, different mindsets, but I would love to hear you guys' perspective on how you feel about that. Especially with this year getting ready to end, like what is your best? I did a post talking about, make this month count. 2024 is coming strong. So like make the most of it, do your best, really do what you can. I didn't even write out my goals last month for November, and my month was all over the place. November was just like a chaotic month for me. I was all over the place. A lot of it was me traveling, just not really on my routine, not feeling my best. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And I think now I'm like, no, like let me really do my best in the month of December, and have a direction, have a routine. So feel free to comment what you're doing, Nicole. Our best doesn't mean perfect. People like, oh, do you like, if you guys ever like fell short on something and someone was like, oh, you wasn't doing your best. And it's like, I feel like that's the way people shame us, when we don't show up as 100, and sometimes it's like, literally you're using the last of your energy to do something, you're multitasking, you're doing the best that you can. My best is going to look different from somebody else's best, and I think, you might be around somebody who their battery level is at 100, right? And yours is only at 50. And if, you can't let somebody who's at 100 make you feel crappy for your 50 that you only can afford to give. I think that, the purpose of this episode too is just to be more gentle with yourself and not compare yourself to other people's journey. Because there's days where I'm at 100 and then someone else is at 50, but it's like, you got to embrace where you are in that moment. Doing your best too doesn't mean be too hard on yourself. It's okay to push yourself, speak life into yourself, motivate yourself. But are you being too hard on yourself? Are you bullying yourself? Are you putting yourself down because you didn't do the best you can? It's a reason why you fell short. And I think too, sometimes we're not listening to our bodies. Are we tired? Are we worn out? Are we putting too much in? I actually had to talk with my little sister the other day. Me and my little sisters talk a lot. And, she told me straight up, like, sis, I think you need to pour into yourself more. I've been noticing lately you've been doing a million different things, but not like in your own routine. I think that's why November was like such a mess for me, because I wasn't pouring into myself. Like I said, y'all, I like to be honest and open on this platform. I'm not on here acting like I'm always at 100 or I'm always doing, spectacular work. I have my days too. So, this is just like that open, honest space where we can do that. So yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. It is now time for the tweet up segment. See, I know that I like to be on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, but something that I tweeted this week that goes to tonight's episode is, I didn't tweet it this week, but I tweeted it, is doing your best always looks different. So I kind of already mentioned that, but it is literally the truth. So let's get into really what that means. Sometimes resting is doing your best. You ever had a day where you really didn't feel like getting up and all you can do is rest, get one task done, you really have 50 tasks planned? Sometimes that is your best. And I think we have to be okay with sometimes, like, it is what it is. That's where the extra pressure comes in, where we kind of put ourselves down when our body really just need to rest, or just really didn't have the capacity to do far and beyond work. Have an emotional day can be your best. I feel like this is hard to talk about. I feel like sometimes too we're shamed, right, for expressing emotion. Having a day where we just cry, or calling somebody and being vulnerable. Sometimes people look at it like, oh, wipe your tears. Why are you stressing? Why are you sad? And don't dismiss your emotions. And stay away from people who dismiss your emotions. I feel like, if you have that one or two friends you like to vent to, or family member, keep that. But if someone's gonna make you feel like crap for expressing your truth or how you really feel, you don't need to be opening up to that person. In the day, you have to get your emotions out. It is what it is. So sometimes your best is that day where you just cry. I have days where, hey, I'm acknowledging how I feel, I'm letting it out, but it doesn't mean my tomorrow is going to look like that. And if you woke up, that's how you showed up today, that's how you showed up. Having a lazy day can be your best. This one is hard for me because I grew up, I'm the oldest of 5. I've always had to jump up, get dressed, start my day, feel like I had to be out doing something. And, I don't like wasted time. I used to look at time like, oh, within this hour, I could have been doing this. I could have got this done. I'm always looking for how I could be productive, even in the tiny minutes. I'll take a 30-minute crunch and get something done, which is actually a good trait to have. I'm not knocking myself for that. But at the same time, there's going to be days where you just don't feel like doing shit, or you're lazy or whatever. And it's like, don't shame yourself for that. I'm talking to the ambitious people out there who the grind don't stop. It's okay if it pauses for a second. That's what I'm trying to hit at with this. And have grace with yourself when it comes to doing your best. Like I said, whether you do show up lazy, you show up emotional, you show up not perfect, have grace with that version of you in that moment, because that is still a part of you. Your body is calling. I'm not saying be lazy every single day. Now, if it gets to a point you're complacent, I'm not saying be complacent. Of course, figure out what's causing you to not have a lack of motivation. But if it's at a point where you're on your stuff, you're getting your stuff done, and you just have those days every now and then, please have grace with yourself. Or if something traumatic happened in your life, allow yourself to acknowledge whatever it is. Sometimes we do lack that motivation, but allow it to come back. Shoot, I've been having those rocky days too, where I'm like, what am I doing? Da-da-da. But you know what? I let it pass. I let it come and I let it pass. And I really wire my mindset to not fall into those caves where I feel stuck, or I feel like I'm on the wrong path, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's just something I want to say. Feel free to comment how you motivate yourself when you're having those moments when you feel like there's a lack of. I would love to read and hear that. Sorry, y'all. It is now time for our Life Up segment. So the Life Up for tonight is thinking our best is supposed to look like someone else's best. And comparing your life to celebrities. And the other one is getting frustrated with ourselves. So those are 3 things I'm about to break down. So, thinking our best is supposed to look like somebody else's. I went into that. Someone could be on 100, you could be on 50. That's completely okay. In a day, we have different journeys. We have different challenges. We have different strengths at that. Somebody might be strong at this, but that might be my weakness, but I have a strength that they don't have. And it's like, get out of this comparing mindset. I think once we get out of that, we focus on our own lane, we focus on doing the best that we can do. That's the best. I'm gonna give you guys an example. Running, I'm actually training again for another run. And I really told myself, I'm not going to compare myself to nobody else in like my running group or people that I run with, or, other people who've done multiple runs. I'm going to focus on my lane, and run how I run and really work on getting to my fullest potential. I think, if I spent all this time watching people who've done 10 marathons, and I'm comparing myself to them or feeling like, oh, I need to do what they're doing, I'm never going to get to my level because I'm so focused on meanwhile they ran longer than me, and have a certain type of stamina. I like to compare this show to running a lot because running has taught me so many things, especially with self-love and inner peace. But it's like, really stay on your pace, stay on your path when it comes to life. Stay on your marathon. And this is another one we're comparing. Sometimes you are relaxing and the person next to you is grinding. That's okay too. Especially if it's rest that you needed. I'm not, like I said, I'm not talking about being complacent. I'm talking about if it's just your little pit stop and you see somebody else on 100. When you start, it's okay to be inspired by others, but don't get to the point where you're putting yourself down, because you never know. They probably rested when you weren't looking, and now they have energy. So allow yourself to rest as well. This is a big one too. I'm gonna bring this up because with social media and today's world, I think social media has made celebrities way more accessible to us, to where, like, even though we know they have different lifestyles, we still, subconsciously look at their life like, oh, I wish I had that, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, comparing your life to celebrities. In a day, they have different lifestyles. So their best is going to look different. So, like, let's be real, they're in a different tax bracket. They make a certain amount of money. Yes, the best purchase for them is going to be different than your best purchase, the best whatever. They have more time. You think about it, they have the time to have more time to to focus on their fitness than average person who works a 9 to 5, who has kids and is tired. So come out of that shackle too of watching what they do and thinking you got to do that too. Like I said, nothing wrong being inspired, but I think it's best to acknowledge that people have different lifestyles and like their best is going to be different. Some people have the privilege to rest more. So that allows them to have more energy to actually get more things done than a person who doesn't get that chance to rest as much and, is literally doing their best with what they got. So had to put that in there. Another one is getting frustrated with ourselves. That's a big one. I know it's easy to like get mad at ourselves when things don't go our way or we felt we could have done better, but dust yourself off and try again. Like Aaliyah said, dust yourself off and try again. Get back out there. How could you improve that next time? Getting frustrated with yourself actually prolongs it because, you're putting yourself down and then that self-doubt comes in. And then when it's time to do it again, you're more likely to give up, but if you tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna do my best next time, let me get better at it. Something inspiring to me was, this is like random, but I thought about how, what really impressed me was Beyonce's daughter, Blue. I saw different articles talking about how when she did her first show, she's young. When she did her first show, meeting people on the internet, were talking mess, whatever, people. But I found it so inspiring how she didn't let that stop her. She could have did that one show and been like, I'm out, I don't like this. But no, I heard she trained harder once she found out, it made her train harder, made her want to push herself. And you see those last shows that she did, she killed it, and it's amazing, because it's like, she didn't let self-doubt get in the way or other people's opinion. It's like, okay, I'm gonna work harder. That was her best at that time. Her first performance, her second performance, that was her best. That's what she could give. She's never been on stage, done anything like that. So that's what she can offer. And it's like, having that grace, like, okay, that was my best, but now I'm doing better. So how to use that as a good example, because I don't know, that motivated me. I wonder if that motivated you guys. Feel free to comment if it did. And how do we fix this? I basically said how to fix this. Don't compare yourself to others. Get out the shackles of comparing yourself to celebrities, and have grace with yourself when, the frustration comes in. There's a sense of relief when you accept the space that you're in. I'm learning to do that. Like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is why I'm feeling this way. How can I get better? Or what can I do to fix whatever this is so I can do better? Because beating yourself up isn't going to get you out that space. Just accept where you are. Accept that you're tired, accept that you're emotional, accept that you're having a lazy day. Like, I think once we really just accept where we are, we're more likely to do the things to fix it or to give ourselves the care and treatment that we need to get over that hump. I don't know. And like I said, accepting the space doesn't mean get complacent. It just means acknowledging it. And that's how you can move forward. It is now time for the drink up segment. So if you listen out there, please drink some water. And I have a water fact for tonight. I want to say this too. It is getting cold, but please remember to drink water. People are less likely to drink water when it's cold, and you still need it just as much as when it's hot. So want to put that out there. Please stay hydrated. So the drink up segment for tonight is water flushes body waste. Water is needed in the process of sweating and removal of urine and feces, according to medical news today. So drink your water so everything can just cycle out. It helps remove all those toxins. Water is just good. Like I said, you need it in the wintertime too, not just when it's hot. So that was a water fact for tonight. Now back to the episode. I want to say to acknowledge when your loved ones are doing their best. I think sometimes we get frustrated with people when their best doesn't look like our best. Like, well, I'm doing this. I understand how you can't. You don't know what they're going through or mentally, physically, spiritually that is allowing them to only produce that. I saw a post on Instagram that said, stop looking at potential. Like potential is really just what you would do in that situation. And it's true. So it's I think that'll alleviate you getting frustrated with people when, you acknowledge, okay, that's what they can do. Because if you're looking at things through your lens, you're looking like, well, I would have done this, this, and this. We don't know the silent battles people fight. I'm learning just to be kinder to people. Someone may show up smiling, looking like they're good, but you really don't know how long it took them to get ready that day or put their stuff together to even come into the work. I'm speaking from experience. I've had those days where you probably wouldn't even think, right? It was hard for me to get up, whatever. You know what I mean? We all have had mental battles, right? But in the day, just have grace with people and just know people are doing their best. It does take a lot to show up for the day, to come out, put yourself into the world, give your energy to others, so this is important just to be kind to people, and think twice before putting extra pressure on others. I'm learning to my approach with people, how I come at people, and am I putting too much pressure or am I being too, demanding in a certain way? So just learning that grace and everything. It is now time for the Poet Up segment. So it's time for the Poet Up. Some of y'all know I like to write poetry. So here's about 2 sentences from one of my poems that I would like to share for tonight. So the name of this poem is Still. So you told me to not forget about you. It's almost if your words have power because I still have it. You're close in my mind, but your silence makes you feel far away. So that's something short and sweet for tonight. Like I said, this is holding me accountable to stay on my passion and creative journey as well. Whatever you like to write, you like to sing, whatever it is, please put time in for that. It's so good for your soul. So that was a Poet Up segment for tonight. It is now time for the Show Up segment. So please feel free to answer this question in the comments. I would love to read it and see it. So how did I show up for myself this week? I showed up for myself this week by getting back on a routine. So like I said, you guys, I didn't goal set in November. My mom was all over the place. So for December, I sat my ass down. I wrote out my goals and I'm executing them. I'm back on my routine. I'm being really serious about the things I want, the way I want this year to look before it ends. And I showed up for myself. I'm like, it's time. Let's follow through and let's do what we got to do. So how did y'all show up for yourself this week? Please answer. I would love to read it. And I want to say this too. Do your best when showing up for yourself. Do your best. When it comes to you, put your all in it. Give it that 100 or whatever it is that you can afford at that time. It is now time for the wrap up segment. So how does this relate to self-love? Self-love is loving yourself enough to acknowledge when you are doing your best. Having that grace with yourself when you are doing your best, even if it doesn't look like 100. Love yourself through all chapters. I think, it's easy to love ourselves when, we are doing this regular work. We're on our goals. We're accomplishing things. But what about when you do have a slower day? When you're not it's just not. It's the same with family members. If you saw your mom having a rough day, she wasn't herself, or she got sick, something happened, and you had to go and you're gonna be gentle and kind with her and know, okay, it's just what she did. So why can we do that to ourselves as well? Let's do that to ourselves when we don't feel like getting out of bed. Still loving yourself through that and getting yourself through it. Have grace for yourself. have grace with others. And something else I want to say is sometimes you have to say it's okay. I actually told myself that the other day. I'm like, I'm going to start saying it's okay. Letting go of the extra stress, extra worry, especially when you know you did all you can do in a situation or the best you can do. Let the cards fall how they're supposed to. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I have a lot of surprises coming soon. And yeah, I love you guys, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. But before I go, quick shout out to my amazing sponsors. Shout out to My Bar, located at 720 East Manchester, Inglewood, California. Get your nails, your lashes, your hair done. Ask for mine. Tell them that SpeakUpJV sent you. Instagram is at nyy.bar. And also shout out to the Event Wellness LLC. Booking out with the Event Wellness LLC for massage therapy, non-invasive body contouring, and health and wellness events. Ask for Michelle. Booking out at the Event Wellness. I'll be back, y'all, another episode. Follow me on Instagram at SpeakUpJV or at Vernisa. That's my name. Twitter at SpeakUpJV. And yeah, tell your friends to subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Push like on this video. Love you guys. See y'all soon.